let me stay right there because you mentioned it. So what
Yeah, I
Moose was
want.
saying with the collaborations, tell me what you get out of this clip.
Look, it's not a collaboration if you're not learning anything. It's just, when you're not learning anything, you're just kind of showing up, being who you are and thinking you know everything. But the best thing about a collaboration for me is the education. And I've learned so much about like my craft. I've learned so much about this craft, the art of making a film, the art of keeping people captivated, the art of never having a distraction, just like a through line, this curated roller coaster ride. These guys are geniuses at.
Man,
That's major.
look, that and it's not so. I don't know. There's like 17 different ways I can go with this, so I'm stuttering on my words already. But we look at collaborating and working with people as just more of an exposure kind of look, right? What's going to get me in front of the biggest audience? What's going to get me the extra exposure that I need? And Pharrell literally just crushed everybody with that and was like, yo, if I can't learn from you, like, there's no point in collaborating. And if you really look at the collaborations that he's done with greats, Jay-Z, Robin Thicke, Britney Spears, Nelly, it's the list goes on, but it's just he's learned something from each situation. And in that particular clip, he was talking about the whole Despicable Me, right?
Yep.
This when he was talking about Happy, right? And what he learned from the movie situation. And I think it also goes based off how he does his partnerships and deals as well. Like, if I can't necessarily learn, we can't get together and do this, right? So I'm looking at it like, for people who are collaborating with people, working together with people, are you learning something on a regular basis, right? I can be very transparent, and if I wasn't learning anything from Moose, I don't know if we would have a great friendship that we do. I'm just, not no
Rightfully
stab.
so.
I just think he pushed me to buy Tesla. Okay, I just want to put that out there. That's still
Don't
going
bring
to
that
be.
back up.
No, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring it back. All right. Not the car, the stock. I just want everybody's like, oh, you got a new car? No, I don't. I have no new car. But like, you want to get people who are going to push you and make you grow knowledge wise, right? And Moose, wondering for you, are you strategic with who you collaborate with?
Honestly, I don't think I do enough collaboration. But what I have began doing a lot more of is not trusting the information or what I'm hearing, right? Like, I think when like, just listening to him talk, he uses the word learning, right? Like, he's educating himself in the process. And the only way to do that is to not just take what someone gives you and accept it as truth. Not if you are in the process of something creative or something that you are expecting to reproduce something out of the coming together or the partnership or the collaboration. So I have begun doing this myself, and I can imagine his process is relatively similar, or call it vice versa. Maybe I'm starting to do what he's doing, but you're processing everything before you accept it as truth. Right. So it's like, you get with someone, they're giving you information, or they're giving you, and you're looking for their ways. And yes, you're learning from maybe their strengths or some of their limitations and how they're doing things better. But you're also processing it through your lens and saying, well, how do I view the world, and how does the information that I'm receiving impact how I should be moving differently? Right. How can I because you don't want to just take it and transfer the information. I think that's what makes something very, very plain, right? There's not much flavor to it. But as you put your creative endeavor on it, or your creative touch, it makes it a very unique concept. So through this concept of collaboration from him, what I notice is that he takes it and he does something to it. And then the second half of it, of course, is he is very open-minded when it comes to feedback. You know, he's extremely open-minded. He likes feedback. And so much so that he recognizes that once you create something and you put it out into the world, it's no longer yours in a sense, right? Like you have to be okay with letting it go. And I think that's part of what really holds a lot of people back, is that they are so concerned about how it will be received, where if you start to tell yourself, I'm no longer responsible for the reception or what people do with it, I know the intention, I will do everything in my power so that it can at least be seen. But other than that, there's not much I can do. So those are just some things that from just watching his moves and to see how well it was received and how people responded to what he was doing, I was like, man, those are just a few things that I think many of us can benefit from a concept of learning why we go about and approach collaboration, and then how we just even go about creating in general.
So there's one thing that stuck out to me when you were talking, which is the feedback situation, right? The willingness and want of taking feedback. Now, not everybody's like that, right? Not everybody is like that. So, what is your suggestion? Because I think that if people were more open to feedback and almost even more open to strategically collaborate with certain people and putting certain pride down and everything like that, like what is one thing that you could suggest to help that kind of those people that don't necessarily like feedback too much? Like, what is the balance with that?
Yeah, well, I'll take a page out of your book and shout out to everybody who was with us on Rebuild last night. And what you said, it's you don't look for that feedback from everybody, right? There's a select few. You look at them or call them as your trusted advisors, right? That you give permission to give you that feedback, that you seek that feedback from them, not for a sense of approval, but just for a guidance of, hey, this is how I intended for this to be, or to go, or to be put out. Are you receiving it that way, or are there any adjustments or improvements that I can make so that I can meet the mark? So number one, I would say if you're someone who's uncomfortable with feedback, rightfully so, and I get it, it doesn't always help or it doesn't always feel good, but start with just one trusted person, right? There's somebody out there who has some level of trust relationship with you that you can make that person the designated feedback guy, right? Like, you know, or gals, the person who's going to give you that feedback, knowing the intention behind it. And then the second part, I love this from Kobe. He said, when people give you feedback, it's not toward the person, it's toward the act. So, you know, I just thought that was so brilliant when he said that, because he was like, when people take offense to feedback and they were asking him this concept, he said, well, feedback, constructive criticism is never toward the person, it's toward the act, right? That which you're creating, that which you're pursuing, that which you're doing. So you have to remove yourself from that process and understand that it's not toward you as a person, that the feedback is not to say that, hey, you're a bad person, or you're not smart, you're not intelligent. It's just saying, again, there's a disconnect between what you intended and what's being delivered or communicated. Here are some things that I suggest you may want to fix so that you can make that match. So that's you know, one of those things that I would say definitely for those people who can get a little edgy when the feedback comes, that I would say, you know, take a page out of Kobe's book.
Facts.